because they're in this social transition, this applies to not only the economic transformations that are occurring, but also in different social areas and political as well. So the reason why this topic is relevant is because women in general, not in Moldova, but other Southeastern European countries, are an untapped source of income and different jobs that can be created because they're unused sources right now. They're not developing themselves to the full potential. By being able to sustain small enterprises in the country, we can create jobs, and then further from that on promote economic development. So right now, Moldova has a fluctuating labor market. This is not only affecting the older population, but as well as the youth. There's many, young men and women that are getting that higher education in the country, but end up finding that they don't necessarily have a job when they do leave, which is an alarming thing because the youth is definitely the future of the country. So if they're not able to stay and, develop their life there, then the future of Moldova is pretty much at a decline, unfortunately. So this is why helping women develop their own businesses and bringing them out of that social darkness so that they can succeed in the field would benefit the population as a whole. And their success is not a myth. There was a study completed amongst different Southeastern European countries, including Ukraine, and Moldova actually ranked the highest on their entrepreneurs being able to create a profit and a turnover after their expenditures. So that means that they were actually successful in their businesses, and this was females and males in the field. So let me move on to... Okay, so this is just a little bit of facts there, but the women in Moldova tend to migrate towards trade-specific jobs as opposed to maybe agriculture or manufacturing. So this is kind of a good thing because they're faced with more financing and marketing constraints, which basically means that if they're able to break out of the shell of the smaller Moldovan market, then they can expand their businesses at an alarming rate. Let's see here. So if you guys were here earlier, you definitely saw a lot of the challenges that they listed that small businesses face, regardless of the gender, but just opening a small business in Moldova is very difficult. One of those restrictions is financial issues. Banks aren't necessarily very willing to give loans, and if they are, you have very high interest rates. So there's definitely that financial component to it. On top of that, there's Moldovan entrepreneurs also scored lower on their confidence levels in themselves to develop their businesses. So they didn't feel like they were able to get out in the market and perform as great as entrepreneurs in other countries felt. So this is a problem that can be easily solved with training courses. It doesn't have to be a huge school or program, but if someone is looking to develop or maybe don't know how to find finance or get a loan, classes can easily help those situations as well. And let's see here. Okay, it's still there. So aside from the social restraints, which obviously women face not only in Moldova but throughout the whole world, one of the biggest concerns is market constraints. So what this means is, sometimes you have a product and it's a great product and it's affordable, but you don't have somebody to sell it to. And that's a problem that's occurring. There's all these ideas and products, but it's such a small market that people can't actually reach out and develop and expand. So that's what I'm working on right now with helping women there to be able to expand their businesses from that smaller market that is Moldova into the European market, which includes Romania, Italy, going into Germany, but also the US market, which is really great because then their profits increase, their businesses expand, and then from then on you have more job creation. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so where are we here? So there's a lot of solutions, but obviously a lot of them are impacted by politics, especially in Moldova. A lot of the financing issues, those aren't going to be solved immediately. There's a lot of political influence in that. There's also other issues that are going to take a lot of time, but there are things that we can do individually. There's all these people in Moldova that I've heard of, and I have so many friends that come here, and don't necessarily have jobs or things to do there. So I went ahead and I tried it out, and there's two sisters that developed a company by themselves in honor of their father there, and they make their own handmade jewelry. So that's where it all started for me. And I brought it in, and customers loved it. You know, they loved the ethnicity of it. They loved to learn about Moldova. And then from then on, because of our constant support for the company, they were able to expand. And they're now going into different branches in different areas. And we're working on with a couple more female entrepreneurs and bringing those in here. But the point I'm making is that, you know, people want to work. They want to sell their product. They want to be able to develop their businesses, but sometimes they don't have the means to do that. So by giving them a constant client database, constant revenue, that's really helpful in just, you know, bringing more jobs into their field.